Hi guys, and welcome back to the Old Gold TV. Today we have got a new video for you, and we are going to be previewing Wolves' first day Premier League fixture against Leicester City at 3 o'clock at the King Power Stadium. And it's one of those ones where when you saw it on the fixture list, you thought that is going to be a really tough testing game for Bruno Lage's Wolves at the beginning of the season. If you look at Leicester, they're a team that really should be challenging for Champions League spaces. And to be fair, they've recruited like a team that are this summer, bringing in sort of three marquee players in Patson Daka, Boubakary Soumer and Yannick Vestergaard to improve their team. Obviously, Vestergaard was a bit of a last-minute one after suffering a bad injury to Wesley Fofana after a really silly, ridiculous bad challenge in a pre-season game against Villarreal. And to be honest, with Wolves, it's more the opposite. We haven't recruited enough. We haven't brought in enough players in to deploy the system that Bruno Lage wants to play. And I think even if we are to bring players in the window, we should have done this far earlier. I do recognise that we are looking for the best deals, so perhaps on jumping into deals early on to pay overly for players, as we want to save a little bit of money this transfer window due to insufficient funds. But yeah, we should have recruited earlier, and that's come to hurt with the squad numbers. We've got a number of absentees, especially in the defence, where Leicester will look to bite us, I think, and definitely get off to a good start and get an advantage over us there. As a Wolves fan, you would absolutely take a draw, wouldn't you? And as a Leicester fan, I think a draw wouldn't be the end of the world, but you probably prefer a win against a very much weakened and probably not quite good enough Wolves side at this stage of the summer. So with all the absentees and the lack of new signings, let's see what Wolves' lineup could be for tomorrow. For my predicted lineup for Wolves, this is what I'm going to go with. Obviously, Jose Sarr in between the sticks, the number one for this season, coming in to replace Rui Patricio, who left for around £9 million for Roma before the season. In defence, I think, to be honest, it will be a five-back, and I think it will consist of Sace, Conor Cody and Kilman, like we saw towards the end of pre-season, due to injuries to Yerson Mosquera and Willy Bolly, and really, to be honest, insufficient amount of players at the back. Centre-back is definitely a position Wolves really need to target for the rest of the summer if they are going to bring in some players. As for left wing-back, we've seen Marcal being favoured over Aït-Nouri, and Marcal's done well not to pick up any injuries. Obviously, we know he's quite prone to them. So we've seen him be favoured over Aït-Nouri, and I think that will continue for the start of the Premier League season at least. At right back, I think Keon Hoover's been given a good go, but Nelson Semedo will return from isolation due to a COVID ping. But yeah, he will return for the Leicester game. He has been back in training and he will be ready to play. So I think that he will absolutely start at right wing back. At the two central midfielders, I think will absolutely be Neves and Dendoncker. I think that provides more balance than Neves and Moutinho in midfield. And if you think about it, we haven't really got anyone else. And finally, as our front three, I think we'll see Adama, Jimenez and Trincao, as we saw mostly in pre-season, and that could prove to be a very potent three if they do get on form. Let's move on to our ones to watches. As for my Wolves ones to watch, I have gone with Portuguese right winger Francisco Trincao, who was bought in on a loan with an option to buy from Barcelona this summer. And to be honest, I think he could really prove himself in the Premier League in this game and get off to a flying start. He looked very good in pre-season, a few nice touches against Celta Vigo. Could say he looked a little bit lightweight, maybe a little bit, needs to bulk up a little bit for the Premier League. But I think he can prove to be a very good player for Wolves, and he will absolutely be one to watch on Saturday. Let's move on to Leicester's. So, for Leicester's one to watch for this game, I have gone with Zambian striker Patson Daka. I think it's going to be a really interesting one to see how he fares in the Premier League against a fairly weak Wolves defence, you'd say. He's had really good seasons in the Austrian Bundesliga, especially last year, backing himself 27 goals and 7 assists in 28 matches played. And he's the complete striker, really, isn't it? When you look at when you look at his stats. And Leicester bought him in on a reasonable fee, you'd say. He's got pace, he can shoot, he's a very complete striker. But it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the Premier League. I don't know whether he'll start with Vardy and Iheanacho sniffing around the team. To be fair, I haven't checked on fitness of those players. They might be injured and I might be looking like an idiot. I think he did play 20 minutes or so in the Community Shield final. That might be very wrong. I think he did. But yeah, I think he'll be one to watch if he does appear. And yeah, Leicester fans can look forward to seeing him play. Let's move on to my score prediction. Finally, for my score prediction, I have gone with a 2-1 Leicester win, unfortunately, tomorrow for Wolves. I think that Leicester just have a little bit too much. I think Wolves will show some bright sides, but in the end, our absentees in defence will come to cost us, and Leicester will win 2-1. As for the score sheet, I think it will be Iheanacho and Harvey Barnes on the score sheet, and I think Trincao will bag in his debut for Wolves. Anyway, that is going to be it from me today. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I will see you next time.